Welcome back, Love Nation. This is Nina. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Thank you to everybody that has been coming to my channel. Like this video, share this video, and hit that notification bell so you guys know when I drop my next one. You guys, we're just going to get straight into this. We are now in the weekend before Diddy's Jurors get the case on Monday. They've now had several weeks of testimony, a lot of which was very salacious, a lot of adult content. However, I'm just going to share my opinion, and I would love for you to share your opinion below respectfully as we discuss this case. I am just going off of all of the transcripts I was able to get my hands on, as well as other people that have been either going to this trial in person or able to share pertinent notes from this case. First of all, let me say, because I've been following this case ever since Cassie dropped her lawsuit, it does seem like, just talking about Cassie for a minute, that because of her lawsuit and what we now know to be the $20 million payout that she got, literally 24 hours after that lawsuit was made public. You guys remember that happened. And I covered it from start to finish. So if you have not seen the Cassie full lawsuit videos, please visit it. I literally read it word for word, page by page. I'm going to first start by saying this. Even reading Cassie's lawsuit, why would you have paid her what we now know to be $20 million if what you did was not true, and to settle literally within 24 hours? That alone, I've always been very skeptical of believing whatever Diddy could have put up for defense. Which, by the way, if you want to get into the defense, I found it to be very peculiar, honestly, that the prosecutors had 34 witnesses and his attorneys called 0. I totally understand. I totally get it. And please, share your comments below. I totally understand you do not want to put Diddy on the stand, and I get that. I completely understand that. You never really want to put your defendant directly on the stand because the prosecutor will basically eat him alive on cross-examination. I get that. However, not calling anybody else up to that stand in Diddy's defense, I'm actually questioning if that was a good idea or no. Now, I'm not a lawyer at all, okay? I just follow this stuff. They didn't even call character witnesses or anybody to be like, okay, I know that they claim this happened and this happened on this particular day when he was with one woman, but no, that didn't happen because I was there and that did not happen. There was nobody to come out and it, like a cook, a security guard, a driver. There was nobody that could come out that worked for Diddy. And Diddy has been in this industry for over 30 plus years. Nobody came out to speak in his defense to say, I've been around Diddy, I've worked for Diddy, I've had to do XY things for Diddy. I've never seen him do or say or act in any particular way. If I could actually make a criticism based on evidence that was just presented, I think that was a complete missed opportunity. That his defense could not call anybody up, just at least as a character witness, to be like, you know, at the very least, oh, I've driven Diddy around when he was with Cassie. I've never seen him even yell at this girl or anything. I'm just using that for an example. I do find that to be of concern. So basically, of course, the prosecutors framed it as Diddy having control over this organization, basically being over bad boy and using his money and his power to gain whatever favors he felt necessary to fulfill his own personal hobbies and adventures. And I'm using that lightly because of YouTube's code of conduct. So, again, either it's going to come down to one of two things. A, you're going to agree with whatever the prosecution put up. Or B, you're going to rely on what the defense is basically characterizing him to be, somebody that is into a lot of personal hobbies, but he's never did nothing against anybody, and his personal bedroom things should have just stayed in his personal bedroom because they were just having adult hobbies. Now, I don't know, I'm 50-50. For me personally, he could probably get convicted for taking adults over state lines for adult activities. I think he probably could get convicted for that. But the other things, honestly, I don't think the prosecution did a good enough job in keeping the storyline really strict on how they were trying to prove the other things. Like, for example, they kept bringing up the co-defendants or co-conspirators. Who are these co-conspirators? Like, they never really specifically put names out there to make me feel comfortable enough that they were able to blend it together. Now, they did mention his head personal assistant, KK. That came up a lot. She did not show up to testify. I'm not sure if she did or did not get the subpoena. I got to double check on that. But I don't know. I don't know if she could even get in trouble for that. I just don't know. But I also find it weird that no other celebrities were brought up into this, really. Diddy seemed to be having such a good time. I'm just really finding it hard to believe no other big celebrities were tied into this case. And I'm not even going to mention any names right now. But overall, I'm not sure if he'll get convicted on everything. But I think he might at least get a conviction for taking adults over state lines for adult activities. I think that he definitely might get in trouble for that. Did they hammer this in enough to some degree? I think in some cases they did. But again, I think that the way the jury sheet will be worded will say something like, if you believe, for example, if you believe he did just one act within like the last 10 years, he has to be found guilty. I think that's probably how it's going to be worded if you don't want to believe every single witness, but you might believe a little bit of what some of the people might have said. So again, I'm going to be pretty split about this. I don't think he's actually going to walk free. I think he's going to be found guilty of at least one thing, maybe not all. And like I said, I think it's probably going to go from there. I was very, very curious as to why the prosecution ended up dropping the state charges. People are speculating that Diddy could get excused, let scot-free by the president. That is possible for federal charges. The president can pardon you. So that'll be something else we'll be on the lookout for. So I just wanted to come on here and make a short video on my opinion about this case. I think he might get at least one thing. I don't think he'll be, guilty of all, but maybe at least one. I don't think the prosecution really, did everything that they needed to do to prove all the allegations, maybe some of it. So tell me what you guys think below. We'll definitely be watching this case. Like, share, subscribe, and I'm probably going to go live next week when they read the verdict. Alright, like, share, subscribe, share your opinion, and be safe. Bye, guys.